Let me tell you a quick story about two people. Person A buys a house in 2020. They have a credit score of about 680 and they put 3% down. They pick a random house in the suburbs because it looks nice. Their interest rate is about 2.9%. Their monthly payment is $1,400 a month. 2 years later, they're accidental geniuses. Their house is worth $100,000 more and their payment is cheaper than their rent. That was considered the easy mode. Now let's meet person B. It's 2026. They have a 750 credit score and they have saved for 3 years to get 20% down. They look at the same house, but now the prices are up 40%. The interest rate is 6.8% and the monthly payment, it's nearly $3,000. If person B, or if you are a real estate agent trying to help person B, you know the truth that the playbook worked back in 2020 is not going to work now in 2026. So if you try to use 2020 tactics in 2026, you're going to go broke. You will get outbid. You will also overpay and you will end up becoming house poor. I'm Ernest Peralta, real estate advisor and peak performance strategist. And today I'm not just going to complain about how hard it is, which I'm not going to complain. I'll tell also how to make money here as well, but I'm going to break down the math of why it's harder. And then I'm going to give you the exact hard mode cheat sheet codes that you need to win right now. So quick engagement check. Before we dive into this scary numbers of what I'm going to go through, I want to let you know, did you buy or sell anything between 2020 and 2022? If you were on the sidelines, let me know in the comments below. Also, let's stop guessing and look at the actual damage. We need to quantify the pain gap that we're seeing. Let's take the median home prices in 2020. You could pick up a solid family home for around $330,000. Rates were historically low. Let's say 3% flat. If you put 20% down, $66,000, your loan amount was $264K. Your principal and interest payment is about $1,100 a month. Now, fast forward to 2026, that same house didn't just sit there. Appreciation pushed it to $450,000. But the real killer isn't the price, it's the rate. Let's say you get a good rate today of 6.5%. You still put 20% down, which is now $90,000, by the way. So you had to save an extra $24,000 just to enter the game. Your loan is $360,000. Your principal and interest payment is $2,200 a month. Look at that number. That is a 100% increase in monthly costs for the exact same shelter. The house didn't get bigger. The neighborhood didn't get better, but your cost to live there doubled. This is why you feel poor, even if you're making good money. This is why clients are ghosting you. It's not that they don't want to buy. It's that the math physically doesn't work for them using these old rules. In 2020, you could be sloppy. You could overpay by $10,000 and the low rate would hide your mistakes. But here in 2026, you have zero margin for error. One bad calculation and you're going to be underwater. But price and rates are only just half the story. The other reason 2026 is hard mode is something called the locked-in effect. Remember person A from the beginning of the video? The one with the 2.9% rate, they are never moving. Why would they? If they sell their house, they have to trade a 3% mortgage for a 7% mortgage. They would effectively be doubling their own rent to move into a similar house. So in essence, they stay put. This means inventory is artificially suppressed. In a normal market, people move every 7 years. Right now, that cycle is broken. This creates a pressure cooker. Fewer houses for sale, but we still have millennials reaching prime age for home buying. Slow in supply and steady demand equals prices that refuse to crash. You might be waiting for a crash like 2008, but 2008 was caused by too many houses and bad loans. In 2026 is going to be defined by too few houses and stubborn homeowners. If you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for prices to drop 20%, you might be waiting until 2030. So you can't time the market. You have to outsmart it. So, okay, enough about the doom and gloom. How do we actually win? Now, you have to burn the 2020 playbook and adopt the 2026 playbook. So let's go through the three biggest shifts that are going to happen this year. Shift number 1, appreciation versus cash flow or utility. 2020 playbook was just buy it. It'll be worth more next year. Speculation worked when the money was free. In 2026, the playbook here is going to be, does it cash flow today? Or can I afford this for 10 years? Stop betting on appreciation. Assume the house price stays flat for 5 years. If the deal still makes sense because the rental income covers the mortgage or because the monthly payment fits your budget comfortably right now, then go ahead and buy. If you are banking on a refinance next year to save you, walk away. Shift number 2, the pretty house versus the ugly duckling. So in 2020, that playbook was buy the turnkey house with the gray floors and the white cabinets. For 2026, the playbook here is going to be you must hunt for the ugly ducklings because rates are high, the convenience premium is expensive, and buyers are broke. They can't afford renovations after closing. So turnkey houses still get bidding wars, but the house with the purple carpet, the house that smells like a wet dog, that house is sitting. That is where your margin's going to be. You need to be willing to do the work that others can't afford to do. And shift number 3, the traditional finance versus creative finance. The 2020 playbook back then was a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's boring. It was easy. 2026 playbook is you need to be a financial engineer. Have you looked for assumable mortgages? Millions of FHA and VA loans are assumable at those old 3% rates. It takes longer to close and you need more cash to cover the equity gap, but it is the golden ticket of 2026. Are you asking for seller buy downs? Instead of asking for a $10,000 price cut, which saves you $60,000 a month, ask the seller to pay $10,000 to buy down your interest rate. That could save you $400 a month for the first 2 years. That is considered strategic thinking. Now I want to speak directly to the real estate agents and investors watching this. In 2020, you could be an order taker. The phone rang, you opened the door, you collected a check. Here in 2026, the order taker is going to starve. The market has shifted, and so your identity must also shift with that. You are no longer a salesperson. You're an advisor. A salesperson tries to convince someone to buy. An advisor analyzes the client's life, looks at the brutal data that we just discussed, and builds a custom plan to navigate around it. So if you are an investor, you are no longer a gambler. You're a sniper. You don't just shoot at everything that you see. You wait. You study the zip codes. You know the price per square foot better than the appraiser. And when the right target appears, you strike without hesitation. Hard markets don't kill opportunities. They kill laziness. The wealth being built in this cycle will be massive, but it will only go to the people who treat this like a profession, not a hobby. If you're still watching, it means that you're a serious buyer. You aren't just looking for the easy button. You're looking for the truth. And if you want a channel that will always tell you the truth about the market and where it's at, even when it's not popular, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. I'm building a community of people who want to bridge the gap between financial success and personal growth. Now, we talked a lot about the rigged nature of the market today, but there is one specific trap that I see people failing right now that is wiping out their savings. I explain exactly what that trap is and show you the proof in this video right here. The housing market is rigged. Click here to watch that next. Stop guessing, start advising, and I'll see you there.